Let's go ahead and begin our grammar, modals with multiple uses. So how we can think of these is also how certain are you, okay? What is the degree of certainty? So let's look at the first rule. To express degrees of certainty, use must or must not, can't, could or could not, might not, or may not. All right, so the first sentence. I'm certain Banksy must have wanted to win that Oscar. So they tell you right here, certain. I'm certain. That person is certain who is saying this. I'm certain Banksy must have wanted. So when you use must have, he must have wanted to do that, or it must be this way, then you are certain. Okay, you're using that to mean that you are certain about something. Okay, so that's the highest one. Look at the next one. People thought he could have been trying to get publicity for the movie. Okay, how certain do you think we're talking about here? People thought he, meaning Banksy, could have been trying. Are they 100% certain? No, probably not. Could have. Could. When they say, oh, they could have been doing this, could have, it's maybe 50-50. Not really certain. Must have wanted, you feel 100% certain. Could have, no, maybe 50%. Could have been trying to get publicity. It's possible. Okay. And these are, being used in the past, by the way, past tense. Okay. Let's see. The next one. That website hoax might have been planned by Banksy himself. And there's that passive sentence. Okay. Might have been planned. Are we 100% certain here? No, it's like could. Okay. Might have been planned. Okay. Might have. We're not sure. It's possible. Now, they don't give us any other sentences here for the words in the lesson or the rules, but I will have some notes for you after this. There will be a chart that we will look at. Okay, so must, if you say, let's see, so if you say can't, but if somebody says it can't, it can't, that can't be the answer. Okay, and that's what you're talking about presently. It can't be the answer. Then you are 100% certain in the negative. Okay, it can't be. Oh, I just saw Ruth downstairs. What? That can't be Ruth. She's on vacation. Couldn't. That's the past of can't. Okay, no, it couldn't have been her, or it couldn't be her because it is, we're saying no, it's the could with the could not. So, but with couldn't, it couldn't have been her, that's also certain in the negative. It may not be, that is also in the negative. That may not be. May is just more polite. It's like saying might not, but it may not. All right, let's look down at the next one. To express obligation, advice, or opinions, use should or should not. Okay, so all of these up at the top here are a degree of certainty. How certain are you? Are you 100% certain or 50-50? Okay, that's what these are. For the next rule, this is obligation, advice, or opinions, and you only use the should or should not. Okay, so this one a little bit easier to remember. But it says do not use must or must not have for obligations. Okay, in this lesson when we talk about it must not have or must not have been her, or it must not be, those are for degree of certainty. Okay, we're not saying, oh, you must do this. We're not using it that way. Okay, you must do something. Okay, it's used for a degree of certainty, being certain. Okay, so don't get that confused. All right, so let's look at our first example. Banksy shouldn't have painted on other people's property. Okay, so we're saying that he had an obligation. Okay, he shouldn't have done that. That was maybe that's against the law. So we're expressing an obligation. Okay, and if you're not sure which ones are obligation or advice or opinion, that's okay, just as long as you know it's not a degree of certainty. So here, someone's opinion and obligation. Look at the next one. He should be more careful. So that's advice. It's like when you tell someone you should be more careful, or you should do this or that. That's advice. Okay. Let's see. You could say he should have been more careful and use it in the past tense. All right, let's do the next one. The magazine readers shouldn't have expected Banksy to reveal his identity just because of an article. So we're expressing an opinion there. Okay, readers shouldn't have expected him to reveal his identity. Well, that's somebody's opinion. Okay, so all of these with should or shouldn't have, if we use them in the past tense, okay, those are obligation, advice, and opinions. So let's see if we can apply some of these. We've got some sentences here, and we're going to write responses. It says use modals to write reactions to these situations. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up some notes here, and we'll fill some of these out. Okay, look at the first example. The first example is done for you. It says you and your friend planned to meet, but your friend never arrived. So that's the situation. Now, what are you thinking? Okay, what goes through your mind first? See, well, he might have been busy at work, but he should have called to tell me. So that you think of possibilities, right, about the situation. So you're not really certain. You could say he might have been busy. You could use could. He could have been busy at work. Or you could use it in the present tense. He might be busy at work. You could say that. Currently. But if you want to say it in the past, he might have been busy. He could have been busy at work. He may have been busy, if you think more formally. But he should have called to tell me. Then we think about an obligation or advice or opinion. He should have called to tell me. Okay, so those are some possibilities. Let's look at 2. Situation. You loaned your classmate a lot of money last week, but she still hasn't repaid you. Okay, well, first of all, what are you thinking about that? You loaned your classmate a lot of money. She hasn't repaid you. Well, there's several possibilities. He or she, we'll use could. Could have forgotten. He or she could have forgotten. You could say might have forgotten, may have forgotten. Let's start another sentence. I should what? Talk to him or her about it. Or there's many things you could do. I should give him or her some more time. You could say he or she might not have the money yet. Okay? But he or she should talk to me about it. I mean, there's many things you could say, whatever you feel about this situation, okay? You first think, oh, they haven't paid me yet. It's been a while, Maybe she forgot, or he could have forgotten, or he might have forgotten. But I should talk to him about it, or her, or maybe he or she should talk to me about it. So first we think of, degree of certainty. What happened? What are we certain about, what happened? and then maybe obligation, advice, or opinion. So let's look at the next one. Number 3, you feel sick after a big fish dinner. That doesn't sound too good, does it? All right, and you're thinking, wow, what about that fish? Oh no, the fish might have been spoiled because you already ate it, it's in the past. The fish might have been spoiled. I should have maybe checked the date on the package. So first you think, yeah, I don't feel so good. What about that fish? Yeah, the fish could have been spoiled. The fish might have been spoiled. And then you think, well, what is my obligation or my advice to myself? I should have checked the date. I may have eaten too much. May have, because anytime you have that have, you have the past participle. Okay, I may have eaten too much. Maybe you could say, I shouldn't have eaten so much. Okay, I know that's very redundant. I may have eaten too much. I shouldn't have eaten so much. Notice in the affirmative, we use TOO. It was too much. More than enough. But when you have the negative, so we use so. I shouldn't have eaten so much. And so just a little note in English, this is what we do a lot. When it's the affirmative, we use TOO. If you put a negative in there, we use so. That's just very common. Okay, so something good to know for your conversations. All right, let's look at 4. You receive flowers from a secret admirer. Let's see. So you think, okay, a secret admirer. Well, today's my birthday, so maybe, let's say you're married and your husband or wife, you think it's your husband or wife, giving you trying to be sweet and cute on your birthday. They, meaning the flowers, they might be from my spouse because it's my birthday. But he should sign his name. Okay, so it could be another situation. Maybe you're single and you were at that office party and you met somebody. You say, oh, they may be from that nice young man I met at the office party, but he should call me, So we think of different situations like that. Let's look at 5. You haven't received any phone calls or text messages in a week. Let's see. We probably wouldn't let it go that long, would we, without checking? Let's see. Maybe we're really certain. We haven't used anything to be 100% certain. Something must be wrong with my phone. And then, so you're like, oh, something must be wrong with my phone. I'm sure, I would have gotten calls or texts by now. So something must be wrong with my phone. So you're thinking, instead of must have been in the past, maybe you're thinking presently, must be, because it's now, currently, must be wrong with my phone. I should, what should you do? I should check with my phone carrier. Okay, whoever your phone carrier is, Verizon, T-Mobile, whatever, So something must be wrong with my phone. I should check with my phone carrier. Okay, so a lot of times for these we're thinking of a degree of certainty. We think about the situation. Well, what's wrong? What's wrong with this? It could be this. Oh, it must be that. So then we think of, oh, what should I do? Okay, or what shouldn't I do? It's kind of usually our line of thinking. And you probably go through this line of thinking in your own language, okay? So the last one, number 6, your boss promised to promote you, but it still hasn't happened. Okay, so, what are we thinking about that? Okay, my boss must have forgotten. I should talk to him. Is it him or her? Anyway, him or her about it. Or I should remind him or her. Okay, my boss must have forgotten. My boss could have changed his or her mind. Oh no. But he or she should talk to me about it. Okay, so whatever you think about that. So there's many options just depending on the situation, something you think you should do or the other person should do, whether that's whatever advice or obligation, okay, or opinion. Some of these are your opinions. Okay, so these are just some examples to use. You will have some notes, some answers for these. Some of them might be different than what's here in the video, but you will have plenty of examples. Okay, you'll have a chart that shows you which ones are 100% certain or not certain. Okay, so you'll have that and then answers for the sentences. So study those, look over them, study them, and then take your quiz below to see what you remember.